What car will you never buy again? Toyota, because I'm pretty sure mine will last the rest of my life with no problems lol. I took my 2002 Corolla to the mechanic thinking it was going to cost me a fortune. $60 later and the fella told me to never get rid of it. Laughs in Tesla, $3,000 bill for an oil leak. You're not wrong. My friend's mom drives a 2006 Land Cruiser. 250k miles on it and it drives more or less the same as it did new with nothing other than regular maintenance. I'm not a big fan of Japanese cars, but Toyota builds a hell of a car. They'll get you from A to B reliably for years, which is exactly what most people want/need from a car, so they deserve their popularity. 2021 Land Cruiser owner here. These sons of bitches are built like armored personnel carriers. They are the official field vehicle of the UN, who use them worldwide in the harshest environments. They don't have the latest whiz-bang glass cockpit Tesla-tron interior accoutrements, but that's the point. They have physical buttons and analog dials that just work. Change the fluid/tire/battery regularly, and they will outlive you and your children. The Land Cruiser is the only Toyota that I've ever considered. I love that they fly under the radar. The average person would look at it and think it's just another Toyota, oblivious to the fact that it's almost 90k. I'm sure it's changed now that she's a billionaire, but Taylor Swift drove a Land Cruiser for years because it doesn't stand out. They are a marvel of engineering. I live in the SoCal desert and see lots of off-roaders. I'm loving seeing all the lifted Lexus GX LC Prado, finally tackling something more than a Nordstrom parking lot. PT Cruiser. Almost everything went wrong with my lemon yellow PT Cruiser. Just a few fun things: backdoor button didn't work and I had to pull back the paneling to access a release from the inside. I didn't dare tap my horn as it would frequently just stay honking constantly until I turned off the car. Battery leaked constantly for some reason. I had to disconnect every time I parked. Gas gauge stopped working around half empty. To be fair, anyone that owns a PT Cruiser is my enemy. Ick why, but every person I've known that has one has sucked. I'm glad you got rid of yours and now you're off the naughty list. PT Losers. Also owned a new off-the-lot cruiser. 2001 Shale Green Limited Edition. Alloy wheels always leaked tire air because they were uneven. Spark plugs under manifold and required dealership labor to have changed. Timing belt went at 40k, serpentine belt went twice at 25k and 60k, speakers on hatchback had a loose wire and cut in and out randomly. Blind spots galore. Radiator was garbage. But my favorite! The car would just stop running while you're doing 40 to 50 miles per hour. Just stop. I'd have to turn the ignition key again to start it back up. Only automatic that ever did that. I still see some running and always wonder how. I was gifted one by my grandmother and God, I hated that car. Had very similar problems and ended up with a leaky gasket at less than 100k miles. Drove the thing to death though. Despite the gasket issues, that car got me from MI to FL, then FL to TX in one piece. It's a miracle it didn't leave me stranded. The TX Summers finally did it, and though, that thing just guzzled water by the gallon at the end. RIP Goldie PT Hahn. Jeeps. Just expect every problem. My dad calls them, just empty every pocket. There is a reason, this past year 3 of the 10 least reliable models were Jeeps. Pretty sure the source was Consumer Reports. And the worst part is that they never have to improve nor address the quality issues in Jeeps. Ownership and the desire of ownership is just a cultural phenomenon. The sales aren't declining anytime soon. They ride terrible, aren't safe, they are cramped, they have poor quality, are somewhat underpowered, and you must have a crane set up in your garage to utilize its best feature. i.e. removing the top. I guess all the little duckies must be worth it. Everything you said is true. Don't care, still love my Jeep. It's a disease, I swear. A Toyota Prius. I bought a 2007 and told my wife I'd drive it until it dies. That thing would not die, I mean it never even needed repairs. Tires, oil changes, wiper blades and bulbs. I really wanted a new car, thankfully she agreed to let me sell it. At 280k plus miles, it still drove like new. I'll never make that mistake again. I once saw a NY cab that was a Prius with 450k miles on it. Absolutely astounding. Caught a cab which was a Gen 3 Prius. Driver pointed out it had 650k kilometers on the clock and still going strong. Pretty much convinced me to get one. I will only buy Honda or Toyota, and even then, the models would be limited. European cars are not only expensive to buy, they are expensive to maintain. American cars are fine if you don't mind buying new again before they get to 100k miles. These are broad generalizations, but they hold true in my experience. If Toyota made beautiful and desirable cars, they'd have it all. I don't get it. They make good cars, but I find their design mostly ugly. That's what Lexus is for. Reliability of Toyota and luxury like a European automaker. I keep saying I'm gonna move up to the Lexus when my 2011 Camry gives out. But it just keeps going. All GM cars. This situation applied to the GMC Acadia, not that I owned one, but my dad owns one. A very common issue that GM has acknowledged and refused to fix for free with the 2016 to 2019 model year Acadias is the shift to park message showing every time you shut the car off. Basically there is a chip in the shifter which is supposed to detect if the car is parked, and after 60,000 miles or more this chip fails and the car is unable to detect that it is properly in park. It was very difficult for us to figure out because the battery would never shut off, and we found out that we have to flick the button on the shifter that allows you to shift gears every time you turn off the car so that the message goes away. One time my dad forgot to do that and the car battery was left on overnight and the battery died. He tried jumping it and was all sleepy-headed and fucked up and put the jumper cables on wrong and fried his battery, so he had to get it towed for a replacement. The issue persists and there is a few known fixes, but as for the actual chip it's near impossible to fix because there is such a wide number of replacement chips available, but it is hard to narrow down which one is the correct one. The fact that this is a defect on the vehicle and it is GM's fault and they refuse to fix this for free is astonishing to me. This reflects really poorly on behalf of GM. Had that error on my Malibu. Started at 57,000 kilometers, 3 weeks after purchase. I politely forced the dealer to repair for free. Please like and subscribe for more daily content.